Howdy y'all, DJ TJ here at RollToWound.com. This is part 2 of my Lone Star Open Tournament Battle Report. In this battle report, I took Nagash and Soublight Gravelords to Allen, Texas to play in the Lone Star Open. I'll be covering games 3 through 5 in this battle report. I have the link in the description for part 1. In part 1 I cover the first 2 games, my list, thoughts, and tactics and stuff like that. Also in the description I will have a link for the blog post that will have my list, my opponent's list, the top player lists, placings, the packet, a couple interviews with the players, so a lot of information in that blog post that you can check out. With that being said, let's get right into my game number 3. Alright, we're set up here. I'm playing Kit with the most beautiful painted army that you will see at this tournament. Kit normally wins most of the painting competitions in the state of Texas, so super lucky. I faced him at the Masters, good player. He's running Soulblight. I'll have his list online. I gave him the first turn, I outdropped him. We are playing the Vice. I have not played the Vice yet, so it will be interesting to see what these mechanics are. I've kept one unit of zombies in the grave and everyone else is out. He's playing Castelli, so he's got his Blood Knights in. To keep. They're in outflank, and just gonna scan his army real quick. So you can see some of this beautiful work. So there you have, this is what it looks like. Starting his Soulblight, round 1 turn. Super bad news on my turn 1. He brought out the Blood Knights over here. If I didn't cover his turn, he just pretty much edged everyone up. He ended up with 4 points by running that unit over there. He pulled out the Blood Knights over here. I was within 3 of the zombies, so I was fixing to get an auto charge. I was within like 5 with Nagash and about 5 or 6 with them guys that have Van Hells on. And he tactically redeployed, rolled a 6, so I failed all my charges, and I did not make my battle tactic of broken ranks. So right now we're going to the priority roll, and we'll see what happens. Yep, and I gotta take it, but I will not get an easy broken ranks, or I would say easy. Killing Blood Knights ain't easy. I gotta figure out my battle tactic and take it from there. Alright, so once again, he took the turn, he tactical redeployed those guys back, but I did manage to get the zombies in combat with them. Took from my tactical objective, Monsters Takeover, so Nagash is sitting on the objective over here right now. Pretty much all that happened is I killed a Blood Knight, and he didn't kill anything because of all the debuffs that we have on those Knights right now. It's his turn. Nagash only has 2 Arcane Bolts and a Mystic Shield on him. So we were out of range for Hand of Dust also. Just long board deployment. It's what it is. These guys moved up a little. I still got a unit in the grave. So it's his turn too. We'll see what he takes. Okay, so his turn. He rushed up with the Vampire on Zombie Dragon and killed only 5, thank goodness. Graveguard. Graveguard returned 6 wounds. There was
one zombie killed over here because he was 2, but I brought back 1 because I killed one of the knights. Basically, he ran up the board. He was sort of out of range with everything. We're going into the roll-off for turn 3. We'll see what happens. And hold on.
Remove that one under Nagash.
All right, so I won priority roll. I decided to keep the arcane bolts on just in case something crazy happened. I'm moving Nagash because he burnt that objective. So now I'm going to have to get one somehow. And I'm going to figure out my tactical objective this turn and try to kill some stuff. So the good and bad is he burnt that back objective. I wasn't able to get anything else. So I did kill his warlord, but I didn't kill him with Nagash. I was hoping to hand to dust him. He dispelled it. I rolled low for it. So no more hands of dust this game yet. And the Graveguard did take out the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Killed another Blood Knight over there. It's really all that's happened, and I only scored 3 for the round, so I'm back behind 8 ball on points. We'll see where it goes in his turn. We're running out of time. The Graveguard are down to the last few models. He's basically took 5 points this turn because he has more objectives than me. He holds more. That one burning one really hurt me. The Mortis Engine didn't do anything, and Manfred's there with 1 wound. So I killed most of the zombies there. They're going to take a battle shock or a command point, so they're probably just going to sit. All right, they're going to sit. We're going to do a turn roll off and figure out what it looks like after this. All right, so we're going to talk this out and see what it looks like. I won. All right, finished up day 1. I finished up the game. The final, you can read the handwriting, pulled it out by 3. It came down to time. We've already picked up the board here, chatting. It came down to time plus 20. We were rushing through the last turn. So there was several mistakes made just because we wanted everybody to get their turn. And it really came down to, I had to get, I had to kill his skeletons with Nagash. So he had about 15 skeletons in the middle of the board. He needed to kill my Graveguard, and I needed to kill his skeletons. We were monster mashing in the middle, and it just I was able to get 3 or 4 ahead of bodies to take that middle point, and that was it. That gave me enough points because going into his turn 4, he was down by 3. So really super close match. We're going into, I got 1 hand of dust. I did hand of dust his Vampire Lord, so sitting there with that. All right.
There you have my turn 3 game against Kit. I want to say thanks to Kit. I played him this is the 2nd time I've got to play him at a tournament. His armies are exquisitely painted, generally winning best in show pretty much every tournament he goes to. He played Soulblight, so for you Soulblight fans out there, you can see some of the things he did, some of the units he took, and how that worked. I will say that my list performed pretty well. I think it was a good mission and matchup for me. This was my closest game of the tournament, coming down to like 1 or 2 bodies on that point. We went way over time. I think we were the last 2 people, were the last table playing with the TOs, like literally sitting down waiting and saying, hurry up guys, hurry up guys. So we did go way over time, but we did get a resolution. It was a good, strong win for me. I was able to pull it out right there at the last time. A couple things I would have done differently. I would have liked to move on that center point quicker than I did. I should have, but however, he made his move a little bit earlier, and luckily for me, my Graveguards lived through that first round of attack from his Vampire on Zombie Dragon, because if they wouldn't have lived, I would have been in a pretty rough spot. I would have been relying on Hand of Dust or Nagash's just wound output to finish him off. However, the Graveguard so far have been they're MVPs. They have shown their worth. They go in and they put some damage out. So that being said, we're going to move right on to day 2 now and game number 4. So let's see how that goes.
Starting up game number 4, day 2, doing Savage Games. I am playing Matt here. Matt's from Dallas area. He's got Maul Tribes, and Kragnos is listed to be online, just like mine will. I've deployed like this. I've got 1 unit of zombies in the grave. Who's going first, Matt?
You will.
I'm going to take the first turn, so let's see what I can do. Coming back after my 1. All right, my turn was pretty quick. Basically just loaded Nagash up with 7 arcane bolts. Gave him a +1 save. Necromancer casted Van Hells on that unit of zombies. Moved these zombies up. Graveguard of the 2nd line. Took both the points, so I got aggressive expansion. So for my battle tactic, going to add up points, and then it's going to be Maul Tribes turn 1. So Maul Tribes, his turn is over. He took Conquer for this point and took it. Lucky for me, very it was bad rolling, really, that those zombies are still alive. He took the point by 1 model, so that was a really close one for him. As far as over here, I was able to Arcane Bolt basically his Tusk Raider, the other monster, off the board, so I got a point for killing a monster this round. And then it didn't really do anything. I did about 6 total wounds with double activation zombies and Nagash over here to his general. So that could have been a little bit better, but all in all, we kept that point, and we're going into the roll-off. All right, so my turn went very well. I was able to hand to dust his general off the board. I did take Slay the Warlord, so I got points for Nagash doing that. I got points for taking him off. I got points for killing a monster in this turn. The Graveguard got into combat with all the Thunder Tusk, or their the Cavalry, Mournfang Cavalry, and between them and a few mortal wounds from the zombies, took those guys out. I popped up my zombies over here during movement to take the back objective. Nagash pinions himself and retreated. So we're sitting on turn 2, Maul Tribes. Kragnos is the only model on the board. So we're going to talk and see what we're going to do. He took Monstrous Takeover in his turn, and Kragnos moved over and killed 20 zombies off his back point. We're going into priority roll for turn 3, and see what happens. 6 and a 3. Let me think about that and come back. All right, so I gave the turn to Matt. He took Kragnos and went from that point over here. His objective was to kill the last remaining zombies that were there, and he completed that. But however, the Graveguard got into combat, and they still were buffed. I gave him an extra attack. So we managed to get Kragnos. He took a ton of mortal wounds from all the Graveguard, especially from the 2 activations. So he went down. He has been removed, so now it's just my army on the table, and it's my turn 3. So I'll just look at the tactics and see what things that I can do to get more points before round 5. All right, so we've...
I'm not 100% certain, so I will go ahead and yell at the judge casually.
So we finished up my 3 turns. Basically, with nothing on the board, you still try to get as many points as you can and complete as many tactical objectives. So I was able to do Conquer the next turn, running some guys over to get his back point. I was able to do Savage Spearhead, which we didn't even move, and then I was able to do the run, which we didn't really do because we knew that we talked it out. It was a good game. I think I rolled really high. I think there was a lot of 1s rolled by Matt over here, but it was a good opponent, and we're moving on to the final rounds. We did get 1 hand of dust off this game, so that brings my total up, and we have met my win requirement for 3 wins, so this last game is all fun for me.
There you have my turn 4 game against Matthew and his Kragnos. Matthew was a really nice opponent. He was a really good guy. This was sort of, he's new to AOS, so he made a couple mistakes, and it was a really good learning opportunity for him. And I made sure that I pointed some things out after the game was over that, you know, tactically, that I thought he could change or do better his next game. But that being said, it was good for me to get to play Kragnos again, even though I was really scared of it. I did get smashed second game with him, but I learned a lot and sort of had better ideas of how I would handle a matchup that would be like that again. And this was a very similar matchup. So the big takeaway when you're playing against Kragnos, especially with anybody, but Soulblight especially, you can't run in with your heroes. You're going to have to let your line troops do the work. You're going to have to get in there with your zombies, your grave guard, or something like that that can actually put the hammer on him, because it's very hard to get through his armor save. If he gets the charge, and you're probably dead anyway, but even if you live through the charge, he still hits like a ton of bricks when he swings. So you've got to be careful how you engage Kragnos and what you engage him with. That being said, I maxed points, so I was feeling pretty good. I got my 3 wins. I got another hand of dust this game. I was moving into my last game, and I was already good with my personal win totals. I just needed to get a couple more hands of dust off, and I would have been good for my goals for the tournament. So going into game 5, let's see how it goes.
Mr. Go-Go Action Gotrek's gonna do a CP for himself as my heroic action.
All right, we're starting out last round. I'm playing Mike, and Team Battle Brothers
Team Battle Brothers, man. We're from all over. Our 40K teams all over the country. I'm trying to start the Sigmar side of things, so.
Check them out. Go check them out, guys. We're playing Pharaoh Foray. We've set up the table here. He's got Hearthguard Berserkers plus Gortrek.
The angriest of dwarf.
We deployed here. I outdropped. I gave him first turn, so he's starting his turn. All right, so his turn. Ran, Gortrek, ran, shuffled, ran. Came out of the Dungeon of Despair. Did not roll a 9 for a charge, and CP'd it and rolled a 4. So no combat this turn. You did get one rune up, or one spell prayer up, right?
No prayers up. No, just my rune.
All right, so that's what it is. He did run his 3 units right in the middle, so he made it here. Going into my turn, I'll figure out my tactical objective. So a really dramatic first turn for me. Not really. Just sort of shuffled everybody up. I ran the 3 units to get my tactical objective for this turn. We just sort of pushed up about an inch. These guys sort of shifted right there. The one good thing is I got my 4th hand of dust. We took out the Doom Seeker, and right over there. So that was the goodness right there. We got a few debuffs on that center unit. We're about to go to priority roll. And we'll see how many zombies possibly die.
4.
5.
Your choice, sir.
My choice. I've got to think about it.
Lucky man gets a fly.
Okay, so end of Hearthguard turn 2. It couldn't probably have went any worse. I guess that the vampire didn't get killed. He made every single charge, and some of them were really close. Like he made exact number like 3 times. The unit of zombies over here were obliterated, which was expected, and that was acceptable losses. The unit in front, zombies, was obliterated, and that was to be expected. However, the Graveguard, who had an extra attack, and Van Hells, piled into the Hearthguard and only did 6 wounds. Now they did have a -1 to wound bubble on them, but it wasn't even that. It was just I rolled so poorly, and there was times where he was rolling like 5s and 6s every handful of dice. So I don't know what to say about that. And Gortrek pretty much killed most of them. So I have nothing for that. And looking like I was really hoping I could punch them out with acceptable losses, which is only a few Graveguard, and then it would be I could start munching on other things with the Graveguard. Graveguard are pretty much gone, so the game is really out of hand. So it's not going to last too many more turns. He's really high on points. He completed his tactical objective. He burnt this point for an extra one. He holds more than me, so he got a good amount of points this turn. And yep, I'm in the hole. But hey, we're going to try to hand to dust something, so we got that going for us. All right, another horrible turn for me. I took my turn, and Nagash miscast on his second spell. He did get Mystic Shield up. Graveguard ran away. Vampire ran away.
A tactical retreat.
It was a tactical withdrawal, yeah. I took Monstrous Takeover, so I get that. But depending on this roll, well, I'll roll to see if we're at the end of Battle Shot.
Oh yeah, true. It's a 5-up or a 4-up?
It's a 5-up because I didn't kill anything.
Okay. No, sir.
So nothing comes out. So this roll is going to be for priority, and if I lose it, we're going to call it a game.
See what you get. Good start. Traditional fashion, though.
5 versus 6. All right, sir, good game. Thanks for playing. I'm going to go ahead and let you run through it because I don't have much I can do. I think it's going to be a lot of moving of Hearthguard, and maybe Nagash can stand up to some attacks, but I think between Gortrek and Hearthguard, Nagash will probably go down. And regardless, I don't think I'll be able to do much in the way of tactical objectives. So there you have it. Awesome. And I didn't get a second hand. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to stick around to see if I can get my last hand of dust. That's what I'm going to play for.
Well, there was my game 5. Not the outcome that I was hoping for. Michael was a really good opponent. I want to extend a thank you to him for being patient with me. You might not realize I was kind of losing my voice about halfway through game number 4. And so in game 5, I was really, it was hard for me to project any volume. I will say also a personal critique for myself. After turn 2 was over, after his turn 2 was over, kind of was demoralized, and I pretty much, told him he's got the game. That was it. I could tell. I could see the writing on the wall. There were some personal concerns for me because I had my family waiting in the lobby. I had a 4-hour drive back home, and so my mind really shifted off of the game onto, okay, let me start packing up, let me let them know to get that ready, and so I lost a lot of focus, and I want to apologize to my opponent because he deserved a little bit more of my attention as we went through turn 3 and 4. So that being said, I will make it a point in the future to make sure that I am more focused on the game and let those outside distractions go away. I was really, really amazed with the sturdiness of his Fire Slayers. Like I said, my Graveguard had been the MVP pretty much of the tournament. I mean, Nagash started the MVP, but the Graveguard way outperformed what I expected them to do. And them being fully buffed up, having Dance Macabre on them, going to have 2 activations, piling into that unit of Fire Slayers. I would have bet $50 that they were going to wipe that unit, and they ended up doing like 2.5 models. Once that happened, I was like, well, that's not good. And then in my turn, it was a repeat of that. I pretty much knew that there's no way that I'm going to be able to do anything. Killing 3 or 4 models with my best combat unit, you're not going to win a game doing that, especially when my line was collapsing very fast. I asked Michael after the fact, what did I do wrong? Was there something that I should have tried or done differently? And he said he would have probably, the way I played it was not bad. It was just, I was running into a brick wall. I got lucky. I did get my hand of dust early, and you know, that was a good roll. So I was happy with the hand of dust early. I tried a hand of dust later, and I failed that one. So, you know, there was some good and bad out of it. I got a couple of my tactical objectives that mission, and then I tried to run Nagash out of there and keep him alive. Really didn't happen. They had my number. I think at the end of it, I'd only killed probably 5, 6 models, maybe 7 models by the time the game was over. So on my end, man, I ran into a Mack truck. That was a hard counter for what I was doing in a lot of respects. So guys, if you're a Soulblight player or any players, Fire Slayer is still a tough cookie to crack. With all that said, it was a great tournament. I did have fun. The best part about it, honestly, was seeing all the people from Dallas and Austin that I haven't seen in quite some time. All the other tournament regulars. It was nice seeing those. It was nice that some people that recognized the channel then gave me a, you know, said what's up, gave me a hello. It was good to see all the other events, because I do have friends that play X-Wing and Legion and 40K, so some of those tournament goers, going and hanging out with them or talking to them for a while. So all in all, this was a really great start for the GT season for me. Even though I didn't get the outcome I wanted, I only placed like 25 out of about 54. So, you know, over 50, you know, about average is, you know, that's where I live at most of the time with the tournament play, and that's cool, because the Master Season is starting soon, and we'll have a lot more information about the Master Season as we go through on these battle reports. But Master Season starting soon, so that's when I really got to bring the A game, make sure I'm winning tournaments, and really doing the best I can to keep me to get me as many points for the Master Circuit as I can. Guys, if you saw anything in these videos you liked or didn't like, please leave it in the comments. I'm trying to refine the techniques, trying to refine what I'm doing in these videos, so comments and critiques are always welcome. And as always, thanks for watching, and y'all be good.